Okay, so do you ever notice how the people who don't give a f are always the most interesting people in the room? They say what they want, they don't care what you think, and as a result, they are magnetic as hell. Today we're unpacking why that happens and how not giving a f might just be the most powerful energy shift you can make. So I help driven people attract more wealth by unlocking their energy. And before this, I was stuck in a 9 to 5 until I learnt about attraction, which helped me unlock a career as an actor, working on Netflix shows overseas. And now I travel the world creating content, doing what I love. And there's a funny paradox that happens when you try too hard to be liked. It actually has the opposite effect. Think about people during dating. When they come on way too strong and it pushes us away. They might be sending way too many texts, clearly trying to win your approval. And even if they're a nice person, that's kind of an ick and they push us further away. Why does this happen? Because they have an energy of chasing. And chasing signals lack and they need something from us. The example I like to think of is during acting auditions. When I desperately wanted a role, one I thought would be perfect for me, I prepared as much as I could, thought about it, visualized it, obsessed over it, so much so that when I arrived in that room, the casting directors knew that I wanted something from them. I was chasing, I was signaling lack and that I didn't have it, and as a result, it pushed them away and I never booked those jobs. So what's the opposite of chasing? It's receiving. So when someone's not chasing, they're signaling that they're abundant and they don't need anything from anyone to make them feel complete. They don't give a f because they're not competing for external validation because they've already given it to themselves. And this is the key. Become internally validated, not externally approved. And that's a really magnetic place to operate from. And the term for this is detachment. Someone who doesn't give a f is a master at detachment. They've detached from the external results, whether that's people's approval or business results. And because they're operating from a place of abundance, that's exactly what the universe is going to send their way. And back to the example of acting auditions, the roles that people book aren't usually the ones that they're desperate for. They're the ones that they're operating from a place of quiet confidence, knowing that they'll be safe, they'll be okay whether or not they book the role. And in fact, my biggest role, Rain, I booked this because I didn't think I was going to get the role. I thought that this was way too above me. I wasn't in the league of that audition. So I didn't have that desperate energy going into there because frankly, I didn't think I'd get it. So I went in, cool, myself, authentic, and I was rewarded with the role. So it's this funny thing, the more you care about something, oftentimes the less you get it. So now I'll share 2 powerful ways you can practice detachment immediately. And the first one is on a conscious level. This is about rewiring our brain to embody that version of us who doesn't need external results to feel whole. And you can do this through affirmations and journaling. When we journal and rewrite our internal story, telling ourselves that we are whole and happy and complete, we form new neural pathways that reinforce those beliefs. Remember, what fires together, wires together. And through the act of repetition, those beliefs will become ingrained in your identity. You know, visual affirmations can seem a little bit cheesy at times, but every morning, if you stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself that you are whole, you are complete, and you don't need anything else to make you happy, through repetition over time, that's going to ingrain that new identity for you. Now, the second way to immediately practice detachment is on a subconscious level. So if we're consciously saying we're abundant, but our nervous system is signaling lack and survival, this whole detachment plan is going to come undone, and you're only going to get half the results. We need to integrate the conscious and the subconscious for this identity shift to really land. And the goal is to create safety in your nervous system, so that you're not operating from a place of lack or fear, but you have a sense of inner stability, knowing that whatever happens around you, you will always be okay. And how do you arrive there? By being in a calm parasympathetic state, by stripping back all of the limiting beliefs and conditioning that are keeping you stuck. And I won't dive too deep into those tools during this video, but if you want more, you might enjoy my free 10-day energy reset, and I'll put the link in the description. But I want to leave you with this, and this is the most important part of detachment that tricks a lot of people up. Detachment isn't about not caring. You see, a lot of people do the work, they do the visualizations, and they get really clear on the future that they want to call in. So they might be thinking, how do I detach from that and not care about the results? And this is the key. Detachment isn't about caring, it's about not needing. Yeah, you're working hard towards your goals and your vision, but detachment isn't about not caring about those. It's about not needing those, knowing deep down that you'll always be safe and abundant despite whether or not you receive those external results. And this is the magic of inside-out transformation. Most people chase results to make them feel happy, but the faster and more sustainable way is to give yourself that happiness first, and then the external results will follow. This is creating happiness from the inside out, where you stop chasing and you start attracting. If you want to dive deeper, join my free 10-day energy reset, and I'll see you on the next one.